So listen, let's talk about what's happening internationally, because there is a dramatic situation unfolding tonight in Niger. You have people around the world, leaders, demanding that the presidential guard in that country release the country's president in what some are calling this apparent coup. Look at this, or at least an attempt at a coup. Look at this. This is what it's looking like, right? People filling the streets in support of the president. But then moments later, I don't know if you can hear it, but there were gunshots, apparently fired by the presidential guard. You're about to see people start running. Watch this. Representative of Niger's president say he and his family are safe and that the country's army is ready to attack if he is not released. All of this is why some officials here in the United States are, in their words, gravely concerned. Listen.
We strongly support the democratically elected President Bazoum, and we condemn in the strongest terms any efforts to seize power by force and disrupt the constitutional order.
I want to bring in Courtney Kube, who happens to be on the ground there in the capital city. Courtney, we're glad to have you live with us tonight as this is unfolding at a rapid pace. Talk to us about the situation and some of the context here, because this president of Niger was elected a couple of years ago in what was the first peaceful democratic transfer of power in Niger since it became independent from France. A lot of Western nations see him as a reliable partner.
Yeah, that's right. But remember, he was elected after there was a coup as well.
That's right.
But then he was elected right after that. So, but you're absolutely right. He's seen one of the reasons, and frankly, the reason that we're here, Hallie, is because he's seen a reliable partner in combating some of the problems that are really facing this country right now. Everything from extreme poverty, humanitarian crises, dramatic malaria numbers, millions of people impacted by malaria every single year. And then the problem of terrorism, which is really hitting this country hard right now. Several different terror groups, an al-Qaeda affiliate, an ISIS affiliate, both threatening the country and moving further south towards the capital, Niamey, where we are here. But I think one of the reasons that you really heard a lot of some outcry, and pretty dramatic outcry, from U.S. officials about the situation here today is the concern that if there is some instability in the government here in Niger, it could spill out into other areas, like exacerbating the problem with terrorism, and then only make the humanitarian situation worse, Hallie.
Courtney, to the degree that you are able to talk about it, and I don't know that you are, but can you explain the circumstances that are allowing you to be on the ground reporting live from Niger? It is obviously a situation that is changing rapidly. I know that at NBC News, safety of our correspondents is the #1 concern. So I just want to be, if we can, transparent. And again, if there's stuff you can't get into, I get it. I should have probably run this question by you, but we haven't had a chance to talk today.
That's okay. So, I mean, yes, I can. What I can tell you, we've spent some time here in West Africa for the past week or so, coastal West Africa, including Benin, and then we came to Niger for a series of stories and in conjunction with the U.S. military. And we were looking at several things. In Benin, we were looking at sort of this effort at helping with the U.S. military working with local forces to help with civil engagement, and specifically how they're helping the Beninese military work on medical problems, helping the local populace with medical problems, especially in the more rural areas. Here in Niger, we were looking at how the U.S. military works with the Nigerian military. It's a little bit more of an active, a little bit more of an effort to help them fight the terrorism here. So they train them during the day. The Nigerian military goes out at night fighting these terror groups. So we're here covering that. It just happened to be that we woke up this morning here in Niger and the president had been taken hostage by his security forces. So right place, right time, wrong place, wrong time. You may be the judge of that, Hallie.
Well, I know you will. I'll make your way home safely. Courtney Kube, it is good to have you there. Thank you for the context and the smart reporting, as always. Thinking of you and your team and your producer. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.